Hello YouTubers, Joe Kersey here on Wednesday, June 15, 16, 17, June 18th. And, well, let's just be sure. June 18th. We'll say that here. We'll find out here. Let's go confirm. And it's 86 degrees on this very wonderful afternoon here around... it's around 3:30, a little after 3:30 Eastern Daylight Time, and man, I can't keep. I'm going to have to get one of those big rest home calendars to see what day it is. It's the 18th. It's the 18th. They had those big calendars at the rest home where my mother was. You know, it was like almost half of a wall. It says, you know, today is, and then in big block letters, you know what day it was. I'm going to have to get one of those. Hell, I may have to get several of them. Given the way things happen sometimes. So, it's been a very benign, wonderful day. I've been casting about what to talk to y'all about today, and I read through sort of my pre-written list of stuff, and I can't say that anything really floated my boat. You know, you guys got to be in the right frame of mind to talk about some of this stuff, and I've got that Trinity Sunday and Pentecost and Ascension Day piece ready to go for you, but you know, you got to be in the right. You just can't rattle that thing off. Even when it's from a prepared text, you've got to be in the right state of mind to do that properly. So, but you know, as luck would have it, oh, the turkeys are going wild here. Wow. Maybe there's a little contentious dominance issue going on over there. In any case, as luck would have it, I went to the internet and looked at the Wall Street Journal and listened to read a bunch of Janet Yellen nonsense about how she's going to keep interest rates low. It's better to destroy our currency than our retirement savings. All right, you gray-haired helmet head so-and-so. Which is neither here nor there as far as I want to talk about today. So, as luck would have it, I ran across a piece in the Wall Street Journal, which actually will probably be published tomorrow. But it's up on their homepage today, and it's by a fellow named Jason Gay, and I've read a lot. You know, he writes a lot of stuff, and he's very good. He's very worthwhile to read, and it's called "When is it okay to check a smartphone at the dinner table?" When is it okay to check a smartphone at the dinner table? Now, this is an issue that is quite dear to many people's hearts, particularly people my age. Particularly as it relates to, how should we say, people we really deeply care about and have to interact with sometimes. It particularly disturbs my formerly favorite interlocutor, who unfortunately is now deteriorated to the point that she's going to need one of those big calendars I was talking about earlier on, and may well soon be in a place where those things are very extant. It's sad. Nonetheless, this greatly troubles her, and frankly, I'm not too chuffed about seeing this go on myself either. But I tend to just, take it as I see it. I'm just glad I'm able to see them at all, I guess, rather than whether they're looking at their phones or not. I will say that my son doesn't do that very much. He'll do it if he thinks there's something really important that's going to come up that he needs to really keep on top of, as far as, like a repairman calling, or, arranging some sort of, business thing, where they have to do something with their finances, that kind of thing. But not just strictly social stuff. I admit I'm probably as bad. I've got, so I leave my computer on so I can see my email come in. I turn the screen brightness down, but that way I can walk in and see if anything's come in. I mean, I doubt if I ever got one of these smartphones, I'd be checking the thing, in public. I mean, I've got a phone, but it's not a smartphone. But unless I actually feel the thing ring or vibrate, I never look at it when I'm out and about. I might check it to see what time it is. I mean, I use it like a watch. So, anyway, Jason Gay wrote this piece, and I'm going to sort of, I'm not trying to lift the man's material, but I think it should be brought to y'all's material, and I'm using this or presenting this with the full disclosure that that Jason Gay wrote the body of this material. I mean, he wrote the material that I'm reading to you in the Wall Street Journal, that will probably be presented tomorrow, but it's on their homepage right now at 3:45 in the afternoon on June 18th, 2014. Talks about going to a restaurant with 5 friends, and then, but at that point he looked around and he said, to see the world's most obnoxious etiquette violation. 6 dinner guests staring at their smartphones. Yes, including myself, he said. It was pathetic. Mercifully, the restaurant didn't call the police on us. And he talks about how smartphones are a significant part of modern life. And they said, so here's a proposal for 21st century dinner time phone protocol. 1, the golden rule. Nobody's allowed to look at a smartphone during dinner ever. Nobody. 2, if somebody's caught looking at a smartphone, the first person who notices is allowed to check his or her cell phone for 1 minute. The next person can check his or her phone for 1 minute too. This can continue for a maximum of 200 dinner guests and 200 smartphones. If a smartphone is placed on the table, it must be placed face down. It may be stared at longingly, but never touched. If the waiter asks to move the phone to place a food item on the table, the owner of the phone may check the phone for 30 seconds. Only parents whose small children are at home with babysitters are allowed to keep smartphones face up on the table. The child has to be under 9, and the babysitter must be recently released from prison. If the babysitter calls and the parent must pick up, everyone at the table is permitted to look at his or her phone for 3 minutes. If a person at the table asks, I'm sorry, can I just take a minute to send a quick email? Other diners at the table must vote on whether or not to permit this. If they agree to let their dinner companion send a quick email, everybody else at the table can send one quick one too. If this person is discovered to have sent 2 emails, everyone else can send 3 emails. If anything funny just happened on Facebook, you must share this with your dinner guests. And then everyone at the table is allowed to check Facebook for something great too. You are not permitted to Instagram your food. What is this, 2012? Well, I don't get the 2012 reference, but I do remember that the mother of a good friend of mine, my now deceased friend, always insisted that when we'd go down there, I had to take a picture of the table or the dinner, you know, as it was laid out. So, take a picture of the table. Well, this was when I was shooting Kodachrome slide material. I wasn't going to waste a Kodachrome slide on some damn dinner table setting or food. Yeah. Oh, here, Paul's home. So he's not overhearing this. Nobody is permitted to go to the restaurant bathroom with a smartphone. If someone is caught leaving for the bathroom with a smartphone, all guests at the table can check the smartphones until the person returns from the bathroom. You may not hide a smartphone in the bathroom like you're Michael Corleone in The Godfather. If at any point in the dinner time conversation a question that can easily be solved using Google arises, one person at the table is permitted to Google. The person who Googles the answer is also allowed to check email and Facebook and Twitter for 2 minutes. Everybody sees you trying to check your phone under the table. Come on, Slick. Photographs of babies or weddings may be shown for 3 minutes. If you don't have a baby or have not recently attended a wedding, you may take out your phone and Tindr for 90 seconds. If someone takes out a smartphone to show photographs of his golfing vacation to Scotland, you're permitted to quietly watch one episode of Game of Thrones. A diehard sports fan is allowed to check the score of the big game. Everyone else is allowed to go on the TMZ. Secretly texting the person across from you at dinner is rude, but also hilarious. If you bring your smartphones to Thanksgiving with my father-in-law reserves the right to take your smartphone out into the street and back his Subaru over it. When dinner is over and you need to go home, you're allowed to use your smartphone to Uber a ride. While you're explaining what Uber is to the table, everybody's allowed to play Candy Crush for 2 minutes. You're allowed to check your smartphone during lunch. It's lunch, who cares? Well, Jason Gay needs to get a gold star for this little piece, I'll tell you right now. You know, I'm sorry for sort of lifting all your material, Jason, but that's so true. I mean, I wanted to say something about this many times, but I couldn't figure out a tactful way to say it without offending people who are close and dear to me. So I've kept my mouth shut, but now, fortunately, you made it so I didn't have to keep my mouth shut. So many thanks to you for this piece. Now, Paul's home. Any news, Paul?
Yeah.
Nothing?
Nothing.
All righty. Bye-bye, YouTubers.